Whoever's doing the hearts, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Larry. Thank you. Um, all right. You're probably wondering what the fuck has been going on with me. Um, Last weekend was Dynasty. I could not cover. I covered it. It's just I couldn't report on it or do a review because my son was having a little bit issues and he didn't want to me to leave the room at night. He was having some night terrors and he just would not go to sleep. So I had to stay with him. And unfortunately, it was the nights that I was dealing with an AEW pay-per-view, which I felt so bad. But I am going to give you my thoughts on it now when I get to AEW's portion of the show and everything. And it's only one show, so it's like I'm going to give you my thoughts like legitimately right after Dynamite. So it's not such a big deal. But I wanted to let everybody know that my son is severely autistic, and the thing is that when he's having those issues, I need to address them and I need to be with him. And I'm so sorry for this. I just thought it would just be a lot easier to do it here and then you'll get everything situated. Definitely family first. And thank you so much, Larry, for understanding. And thank you for everybody for who will eventually watch this, understand because family, even when I'm on here, if there's a text and it's a family, I will be taking it. Family is always key to me. Family comes first. Family relationships and shit like that come first, then wrestling. I'm sorry. I go out and touch grass. I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend. I touch grass and I touch other things. So, I make sure that, I do my part as being a girlfriend and everything like that. So I don't know what else to tell you, but please just do me the favor while you're here, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video or do a short, you all know about it. Please also do me a favor. Please go check out My Astro Classics at myastroclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beard essentials. If you want to murder your thirst and you need the artillery to do it, please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com and get all your artillery, which is flavored water, flavored salsa water, unflavored regular water, unflavored salsa water. You have iced tea and the sports package to turn in any liquid into a sports drink. So go check that out. And they have really righteous merchandise to go along with it. So yeah, go check all that out. Also, please go check out if you're a coffee freak like I am, because I drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot. I mean, a lot of coffee. Please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Visit their website for all your coffee essentials, and please sample the world's strongest coffee with the lowest acidic rate. If you support independent professional wrestling, please do me a favor and go check out House of Glory. They are going to be having an events coming. I believe it's this weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, and it's for Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is a very big holiday in this area because it is celebrating Mexican culture, and they're doing an event, and it's going to be heavily based Mexican professional wrestlers or luchadors or luchadoras, and they have an event coming up May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, La Casa del Gloria. Laredo Kid versus Casey Navarro, House of Glory champion, heavyweight champion, Mike Santana, which he just recently signed to TNA. With he's going to be facing Psycho Clown, Sexy Star versus Violet, Penta Elzino Miano versus Phoenix, his brother. So we're taking a little bit from Jamie and Jay. They kind of like, this is going to be their version of brother versus brother, or brother versus brother. Brother. I'm sorry, I had to. It was there, it was there. We have also Charles Mason versus Jay Lyon. And we have Arrow Star making an appearance. They also have two more events coming up, which is May 24th, the War Within. Ken Broadway challenges AJ Francis, also known as Top Dollar, to a 3-on-3 match, and Matt Riddle from WWE and MLW, TNA, the whole gambit. I believe he was on TNA, if I'm not mistaken. And then on Saturday, May 25th, the next day in Boston, Massachusetts, we have fingers crossed. I don't know if he's definitely going to be there, so that is a question mark. We have El Helio Vikingo and Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana, and Alec Price. So get your tickets at hogwrestling.net. And if you can't be there, you can watch it on Thriller TV, which is only $7.99 a month, and it pays for itself, honestly. So I am looking forward to May 5th, honestly. That's going to be a great event right after Backlash. Okay. I'm definitely going to be able to do this because my son's not going to be here. I'm going to be able to do this. Just it's going to be very, very, very crazy. So I have stuff going on and whatnot, but it's going to get done. Trust me. So it is. So it's only 3 shows today. So it's going to be very simple, very, very I'm going to get through this. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on what the review of Dynasty. I'm not going to do the entire review. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it and whatnot. It was all predictable, basically. It was all predictable. I'm not going to say, I'm going to call a spade. And I am going to tell you it was all predictable. I could have legitimately went on DraftKings and nailed every single one of them. That's how predictable it was. So, and I just went to delete shit. Share, quick post, quick. I don't want that. I want to share and create a post. Sorry. Okie dokie. We're gonna do Dynamite, and we're gonna get that one up and get that over, and then I'll give you my thoughts of really the entire whole situation, what had happened with the pay-per-view. Dynamite was coming from the Daily's place in Jacksonville, Florida. I want to ask you people, let me ask you this question because it's not been asked. If Tony Khan owns in a stadium, right? Because he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, I've got a question for all of you. Why isn't he ever using that stadium to maybe do bring all in, not all in, all out there for it's still May, it's still kind of cool at night. Or why don't he do like next year instead of doing Dynasty there? If he's so confident in his fucking abilities to sell out a stadium where he didn't do it over in Wembley, because when WWE finally goes into it, they'll sell it out. That's neither here nor there. But why doesn't he do an event there? I don't understand this. He's got this arena. Meanwhile, he won't have to pay for fucking rental fees. He doesn't have to do it at Daly's place. So why the fuck isn't he using it? Oh, because that's going to be the glaring fucking thing. He is not going to be able to sell out that stadium, and he's going to look like a fucking peon moron. All right? I love AEW. I'm an advocate. I love AEW. But the fucking Tony Khan, after what fucking this week, what had happened? Come on, people. I heard that there was seat fillers. Seat fillers. The last time I was dealing with seat fillers was back in like WCW and like about 10 years ago with WWE. Seat fillers. That's not a good look. And if it gets out, I don't understand with the TV rights deal. Like, they don't say, well, we got this and it's fact, and what the hell is going on? Why can't you fill arenas? We're going to be giving you this much money. We're negotiating. Why can't you fill these seats? We're not going to give you this much money. We're going to give you this, and this is what you got to deal with. You know, it's not right. Now, I'm not knocking AEW superstars. I'm knocking the fucking management. The management needs to fucking change. Tony Khan cannot be doing this. Cannot be doing this. He needs, I would actually advocate, and I'm probably not the only one in the fucking community, that I believe Scott D'Amore needs to take over creative. He needs to be that pit bull. He needs to be that one to get into like the trenches with everybody, you know. And then AEW may have an chance to be at the same level as WWE. I mean, for Christ's sakes, they're fucking now in bed with UFC. Do you think, honestly, they're going to slack now? They're going to be with fucking UFC. Eventually, no joke, UFC is going to end up with WWE on the bigger pay-per-views. And I'm not joking. You're going to see like maybe with the exception maybe a WrestleMania, because they do 2 nights. You can't have a UFC going up against WrestleMania. It wouldn't be logical. But maybe the weekend prior or the weekend after, you know, they're going to be a UFC in the same town that is the WrestleMania. They're going to piggyback off of one another. And is that going to end up booming their business? Absolutely. People are going to say, hey, all right, kids, we could go to Money in the Bank, but there's a UFC, you know, let's go to both. And it's going to end up, they're going to have like 2 for 1, or they're going to, like, if you buy this, you can get some sort of discount for UFC, or you buy UFC, you can go to WWE, or whatever the case may be. Tony Khan has no idea where he's dealing with. Fucking Ari Emanuel and Tony and Nick Khan completely fucking got rid of Vince McMahon. Do you think they're going to fucking deal with him? They're going to fucking look at him and say, yeah, we can have him for breakfast. I'm sorry, people. If you are a Tony Khan cocksucking shill, not my fault. I mean, it is what it is. But you got to understand, Tony Khan thinks that he's playing chess. He's not playing chess. He's playing fucking goddamn tiddlywinks. You got Nick Khan, Paul Levesque, and fucking Ari Emanuel playing fucking that it's chess, and it's like the tiered chess. All right? They are out for blood. Triple H has no problem awakening himself to book fucking banger after banger after banger. Thank you, Sheamus. So, we've got the draft coming up, the draft of the NFL, and for the love of Jesus, really, Tony, please, Vince McMahon does a better fucking neck injury than you. You're turning your head like this, and you have a neck brace on, and I'm supposed to fucking think that this is serious. You didn't even, oh my God, you didn't even fight your way to fucking do anything. You were fucking just sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna take it in the ass, or I'm gonna take it in my mouth. At least when Vince McMahon was getting his ass kicked in by fucking Steve Austin, at least he fucking put up a fight. You just stood there like, yes, sir, may I have another? Yes, sir, may I have some more? Oh, give it to me, Matt, or give it to me, Nick. Please, or give it to me, Jack. Please, or Kazuchika, come on. He is right now, and I am not fucking joking. He is the elite's bitch. Tony Khan is a bitch to the elite. Anything they want, they get. Because he knows that if he doesn't give what they want, hey, Nick, I don't think I'm comfortable here. Can you give me a good payday? And all those guys leave with Kazuchika and Kenny Omega. Legitimately, AEW is a fucking shit show then after that. So basically, Tony Khan is legitimately the elite bitch. And I've always questioned his sexuality. I mean, Kenny Omega is not playing for the heterosexual team at all. You know, he's not. Maybe Tony Khan likes it both ways, you know? I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't see him with women. I don't see, or who knows, maybe he's taking a little stroll to Mrs. Or Dr. Britt Baker at ZMD, and maybe this is the reason why she doesn't need to be on TV. She's in bed with the boss. Because I haven't seen Britt with Adam lately. And I'm sorry, but for all of this time that they've been together, and Adam hasn't even put a ring on it. I mean, come on now. I mean, if Britt had a choice to go with a billionaire or a fucking whatever wrestler, she's going to take the billionaire. So, but the pay-per-view that they had was very predictable, and I'm pissed off that the Acclaim and fucking the Bang Bang Club, or the Bullet Club Gold, wasn't on the regular card, but it was on the 0 hour. But Hook and Jericho were on, which only manifested for 2 weeks. So obviously we knew the booking was ridiculous the way it was. What, Jericho couldn't handle the fact to be on 0 hour? Kiss my ass. Fucking if John Moxley could fucking do it, then Jericho could do it. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. Tony Khan is a fucking cuck. Is a cuck. Like the young cucks. They're all cucks. Here a cuck, there a cuck, everywhere a cuck, cuck, cuck. Please. Anyway, before we get started, please go follow me on all my social media. I now have my Snapchat back. Please follow me on there, the real Mel's Mat Chat. No, sorry, just real Mel's Mat Chat. You can find it there and whatnot. I have a mommy, I'm your mommy t-shirt on my bit emoji, so you know where. And I've, like, legitimately, I look like my bit emoji. Just today, my hair is a little straighter. So, but go follow me on Snapchat, Real Mel's Mat Chat. Go check out me on Cameo. Go check me out on X. Go check me out on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram, all Mel's Mat Chat. Also, please do me a favor. Go follow this great edit guy. His name is I've got to look him up. Chats. I want to make sure I get the handle right. Go check out. His name is where the hell is this? Oh God, I'm losing my mind. Options, profile. That's what I want. Go check out my friend that I just started to make. His name is James, but he goes by Glitch, GL''TCH. It's Glitch Artworks with a Z. He's on Instagram, and go find him on Twitter or X. I will. If I'm not mistaken, his Instagram. Let me just double check. Go check. Yeah, it's pinned to the top. Go to my X account, and it's pinned, and you can get to Instagram. Go follow him on Instagram if you have Instagram. Go check him out. All right, so Dynamite was from Jacksonville, Florida. The show opens up with footage from earlier in the day. The elite AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, and the AEW Continental Champion, Kazuchika Okada, pulling up to the arena in a chauffeured SUV. Another chauffeured SUV pulled up and outworked Jack Perry. And there was somebody made this edit or short, whatever, GIF or whatever of him walking out, and we have the 90210 theme song in the back. That's classic. Because if you guys don't know, Jack Perry's father is Luke Perry from Beverly Hills 90210. Little known fact, okay? So AEW tried to prevent Jack Perry from entering Daly's place. Matthew told them to back off. He's with us. Back in the arena, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy music hit. As Orange was about to make his entrance, he came tumbling onto the stage thanks to Trent Beretta, the man who betrayed him after their loss in the tag team tournament. Trent had attacked Orange backstage and continued to pummel him all the way to the ring. Chuck, it's time. Please come out here. Chuck Taylor walked to the ring. Trent, I'm sorry, Chuck. I'm sorry I didn't do this a long time ago. I'm sorry we spent 5 years hugging this narcissistic prick. He was supposed to be our mascot. Instead, he became his lackey. We became his lackey. We did everything for him. He gave us nothing. He doesn't care about you, Chuck. He's not your friend. Chuck, I care about you. I'm your friend. I love you. So please do the right thing and give the people what they want. Chuck Taylor, you know, Trent, I've always thought you were a piece of crap. Chuck decked Trent. Chuck made it pretty clear that he is siding with Orange Cassidy, said Excalibur. Chuck, Trent, I don't want to fight you in the ring. I want to fight you in the damn parking lot. So this is where I had a problem. I had a real bad problem about this. We are supposed to have a new champion. Shouldn't the new champion get coordinated and everything like that, just like they did with Cody Rhodes, like they did with Damian Priest, like they did with Bayley, the whole 9 yards? But no, we just treat Swerve Strickland like any other person because he is not in that upper echelon. And I think he's just basically a transitional champion because we know for a fact, guess who's going to get this when he comes back? It's going to be Hangman Adam Page because their thing isn't even over. So it just behooves me. And it really hurts me that he gets this, he makes history, and he's treated like he won the fucking TNT championship. Anyway, we had an eliminator match. He shouldn't even be defending the title, let alone even in a match like this. Anyway, but what do we know, right? What do I know? I've just been watching professional wrestling for 41 years. So we have World Champion Eliminator match. AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland versus Ring of Honor World Champion TV Champion Kyle Fletcher. Where the fuck is the fucking ranking systems? Where is it? It's a bunch of garbage because that's why I don't cover it anymore. Because they're not taking it seriously. I'm not taking it seriously. No champion should go for other championships until they've lost that championship. And then they say that he wants to or she wants to go after a certain title. It's not that fucking difficult. Please. Anyway, both men chain wrestles to the start of the match, countering one another. Holds for early stalemate. Swerve landed a kick right to Fletcher's throat. Swerve followed up with a diving European uppercut to Fletcher's back. Swerve backdropped Fletcher on the floor. Swerve followed up with a boot from the apron. Fletcher's face. Back in the ring, Swerve nailed Kyle with a backbreaker. Fletcher fired back with a thrust kick and a Michinoku driver. Oy, easy for me to say today. The Elite was shown walking to Tony Khan's office backstage. They entered Tony Khan's office with Jack Perry. Swerve countered a half and half on the apron with a neck breaker to Fletcher. Swerve squashed Fletcher with a double foot stop on the apron. Fletcher avoided a house call and countered with an ankle lock. Swerve crawled and reached the bottom rope, forcing the ref to break the hold. Fletcher blasted Swerve with a roundhouse kick to the sternum. Swerve blocked a kick and a hip toss. Fletcher. Swerve smashed Fletcher with a flatliner and a brainbuster for a near fall. Fletcher rallied back with a tombstone pile driver, but Swerve kicked out at 2. Fletcher was about to get the table from beneath the ring per Callis' play call, but Fletcher changed his mind. Swerve wasted no time, and Swerve stopped Fletcher for a near fall. Swerve drilled Fletcher with a house call and pinned Fletcher. The Swerve Strickland era of All Elite Wrestling begins with a bang on Dynamite here tonight, said Excalibur. Yeah, everybody's starting to use the era because, of course, Triple H uses it with the Paul Levesque era, and everybody's got to fucking copy. Can't come up with something original. Sorry. Renee Paquette was backstage to interview Thunder Rosa, and she got royally fucking screwed. The virtuosa Donna Perazzo interrupted. Thunder Rosa. Perazzo, it seems like I'm not in the room. It seems like when I'm not in the room, all you do is say my name. You don't have the balls to say it to my face. You lost that dynasty, so what are you going to do about it? Deanna shoved Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa shoved back until AEW security separated them. Anna Jay versus Mina Shikawa. I think that Mina dropkicked Anna Jay in the back. Mina started to work over Anna's knees. Mina picked up Anna and threw Anna to the mat. right on Anna's knees. Mina followed up with a Russian leg sweep. Mina continued to punish. Hey, Mr. Pickles. Hey, Mr. Pickles. Howdy. How you doing? Anna raked Mina's eyes and followed up with a neck breaker. They traded forearms back and forth. Mina connected with a spinning back fist. Anna walloped Mina with a dangerous J kick. Mina dropped Anna with a dragon screw leg whip. Mina climbed to the top turnbuckle and wiped out Anna with a missile drop kick. Anna countered with a glamorous driver with a Queen Slayer. Mina escaped and rolled up Anna with the dangerous collection to score the pin. I feel so bad for Anna Jay. Hearts all around, Mr. Pickles. Mariah May brought in the champagne in the ring and was about to celebrate with Mina until Anna Jay ambushed them with a cheap shot from behind. Anna Jay applied the Queen Slayer to Mariah until the AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm sprinted to the ring. Anna Jay retreated from the ring. The Professor, Serena Deeb's music hit. Serena, undefeated this year, walked in onto the ramp. Serena picked up the AEW Women's World Championship. Next time I touch this belt, I become AEW Women's World Champion, promised Deeb. That's a woman that I would like to see hold the title. That is the type of caliber we need. Serena Deeb for champion. I'll take that in droves. Time for the new TBS champion, Willow Nightingale, TBS champion celebration. She gets a celebration, but Strickland doesn't get it. Does he get one on Collision tomorrow night? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I will vent if he doesn't get it. Caprice Coleman is on commentary for this one. Stokely said when this whole thing started, he didn't like Willow. Willow said she didn't like him either, but he's proud of her. Willow said that tonight she stands here as the face of TBS. The CEO, Mercedes Moné, interrupted Willow's championship celebration. Mercedes stole Willow's moment at Dynasty, and now she appears to be doing it again, said Excalibur. Mercedes Jacksonville, say hello to your CEO. Willow, Mercedes, this has got to be the fourth time you've interrupted me, and it feels like you have something to say. Now is the time to say it. Mercedes, well, Willow, I just came out here to congratulate you, and I want you to enjoy your celebration because in 32 days at Double or Nothing, you're looking at the new face of TBS champion, the new face and the new TBS champion. But really, I came out to ask you if you were that bitch that attacked me 2 weeks ago in the dark. Statlander, hold on, Willow. I just got attacked last week, so how do you know it's not you that did it? Mercedes, how do I know that it wasn't you, Chris? Stokely, we all know it was Julia Hart, all right. Mercedes has kind of... Oh, Mercedes? Mercedes. She came in with all this fucking fanfare and she... Fucking Tiffany Stratton has better fucking fire underneath her than Mercedes. And she gets a fucking title shot. She hasn't wrestled a match in AEW. Seriously. Seriously. You're going to pay... Oh, big time. She can't cut a promo on her own to save her life. And we're supposed to be, oh, Mercedes, we're not worthy of your presence here in AEW. We're not worthy. Seriously, please. Tiffany Stratton is better than fucking Mercedes Moné. And I'm not a Tiffany Stratton fan, but Tiffany can get it done. So anyway, Willow goes on to say, even before all of this, who attacked who nonsense, I felt like you had a personal vendetta against me. So I have to ask you, Mercedes, do you think I intentionally injured you that night when we wrestled in New Japan? Mercedes, are you asking me if I blame you for the almost ending my career? Are you asking me if I blame you for all the suffering and pain that I went through for taking away one thing I love the most, wrestling for a whole year? You don't want the truth, Willow. You just want to feel better about what you did to me. Willow, Mercedes, I generally feel awful for what happened to you, but there's a lot of questions and doubts for me after that match. I looked at that championship after that match and I asked myself, could I have beaten Mercedes at 100%? That champion win was quite asterisk next to it, but this championship, there's no asterisk next to it. So at Double or Nothing, Mercedes, I want you 100%. I want to show you I could beat you, and that's why I'm the TBS champion. Mercedes, enjoy it while you can because at Double or Nothing, you know in your heart you can't beat me. As Mercedes turned her back and walked away, Chris grabbed Mercedes' arm. Mercedes turned around and walloped Willow in the face. Statlander grabbed her, and Mercedes thought it was Willow, said Taz. Willow and Mercedes had to be separated. Again, I really feel bad for everybody else that has been there for the entire fucking year in AEW, and they're not getting that fucking opportunity at Double or Nothing for that championship because of fucking Mercedes. No, Julia Hart should have been the one to go against Mercedes. Willow it was just there. I feel bad for Julia. Julia is the one that fucking got screwed out of this whole situation. Guaranteed. She saw her. She's like, fuck, I'm losing my title. In my opinion, the entire House of Black needs to go to WWE. But that's just me. Alex Marvez was standing backstage outside Tony Khan's office as Jack Perry exited. Marvez, are you reinstated into AEW? Jack Perry walked away without answering. Matthew Jackson walked out and told Marvez that Tony Khan agreed to meet with Jack tonight live in the ring. We have a casino gauntlet match. The winner of the number one contender for Roderick Strong's international title at Double or Nothing. The first participant was Switchblade Jay White, 1/3 of the unified AEW World Trios Championship. Thank you. Praise Jesus. We have that. Thank you, God. Top Flight, Dante Martin was the second participant. This match is Southern Death. The first pinfall or submission earns a man at a shot at AEW International Championship against Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing. Jay White chopped Dante in the chest. Dante dropkicked Jay White. Dante vaulted over the top rope to the floor, but Jay White was waiting for him. Jay White chopped Dante again, but Dante answered with a rising knee strike. Back in the ring, Jay White backdropped Dante over the top rope. Penta El Zeno Miedo was the next entrant. Penta landed a cross body press on Jay White. Kyle O'Reilly was the fourth entrant. Kyle cleaned house with a series of kicks. Will Ospreay was the next wrestler to enter the match. Kyle should have never been in that match to begin with. He's had his opportunity. Oh, Julia? Julia would be treated like a princess. Princess. She's sexy. She could get the fucking done in the ring. And she could do promos. It's a shocking situation than having all of that. Anyway, moving on. Kyle and Will squared off and traded forearms in the center of the ring. Ospreay connected with a flying forearm off the rope. Jay White gouged Will in the eyes. Will rallied back with a standing Spanish fly to Dante. The Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, was out next. Archer drilled with a vicious shot. Archer chokeslammed Dante onto Jay White. Archer hurled Ospreay into a pile of the other wrestlers on the floor. Commander entered the match next. Commander sent Archer crashing through the table outside the ring with a Hurricane Rana. Commander spiked Ospreay with a DDT. Jay White planted Commander with an Uranagi. Jay entered the fray. Lethal nailed Dante Martin with a lethal combination. Jay White smashed Lethal with a sleeper suplex. Osprey was looking for a Tiger Driver 91 on Kyle, but hesitated. Kyle countered with an armbar, but Commando splashed Kyle from the top rope. Osprey knocked Commander off Kyle with a hidden blade and scored the pin. AEW International Championship champion Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom walked onto the ramp after the match. Roderick got into Will's face and held the championship belt in front of Osprey's face. Osprey didn't back down, and of course, he's going to win the title. Will Osprey not winning that title, please? Yes. All he does is push WWE talent. The whole precipice of this fucking organization was to make new stars. He's not making new stars. Put down the white claw, pick up the fucking goddamn memory pills and the energy pills. Or why don't you just go sleigh riding? I hear Frosty's want to give you a call here. And if you don't understand that reference, what drug is out there? It looks like snow. I'm not going to say because I don't know if I could get smashed about this and get my thing taken away. Oh my God, he looked like a moron. Vince McMahon took a better fucking wrestling moves than he does. It looked like he was a cuck. He looks like he was a fucking goddamn submissive. So we heard from the new FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. Jesus Christ. Jericho, it's true. I'm the new FTW champion. It's great. Right now, from now on, FTW means for the world championship because this is all for you. We won this together. Thank you. I'm only doing God's work. By that, I mean the God of professional wrestling, Terry Funk, told me years ago, Chris, it's your responsibility to teach the younger generation and take them to the next level. And that's what I'm doing. They're not going to listen to you. If they're going to didn't listen to Punk, they're not going to listen to you. Hook, I told you to stay down after 2 Judas effects. You forced me to hit you with a baseball bat at Dynasty, but now you're at home thinking about the lessons I taught you. Big Bill walked to the ring. Big Bill, Chris, I've been in the back listening to you, and I only have one thing to say. I need guidance of the Learning Tree. Chris, everybody knows you are a sorcerate of professional wrestling. Always willing to give advice, always willing to lend a hand, and always willing to take less established guy and take them right to the top with him. And that's you, Chris. Now I know there's a long line of guys in the back waiting to be part of the Learning Tree, but this takes into consideration. There's nobody bigger than me and better fit for me learning for the Learning Tree. And Chris, you know deep down in your heart, I am the best fit for the Learning Tree. Jericho, I've been watching you for a very long time. I'm going to think about what you said. I'm going to be watching to see if that is true. Big Bill, you do that. Watch me. Jericho, I'll be watching Big Bill and I'll be watching all of you guys as we celebrate together. Exactly. Fucking Shad Khan was better. He came in, oh my God. As more and more time goes by, Tony Khan doesn't have a wrestling company. He has a real life video game that he's playing. And it's ridiculous. Renee Paquette was backstage with Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, and Don Callis. Callus, I'm so happy for you. Will, I call you the golden goose. The only note I have for you, we talked about that Tiger Driver 91, and you had Kyle O'Reilly, and why didn't you do it? Will, I'm not going to do it after what happened to Brian Danielson at Dynasty. That move has to go. Kyle, Don, we won that match. We're going to win that match at Double or Nothing against Roderick Strong. Callus, Will, you're going to be the international champion. You're going to have to give him a broken neck for all I care. And now I have to go manage Hobbs because we have to win the title tonight. And you're going to win one at the pay-per-view. So we have a title that's not even part of AEW, but it's the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And Jon Moxley is the champion against Will Hobbs. Okay. I don't buy that. Will Hobbs has done nothing for that, nothing to get a title shot. It should have gone to the next in line in New Japan. But, of course, it's Jon Moxley. He gets what to do whatever the fuck he wants. So we start off with Hobbs. Moxley in the corner. Mox chopped back, powerhouse Hobbs. Mox nailed Hobbs with a German suplex, but Hobbs got right to his feet and shrugged it off. Hobbs smashed Moxley headfirst into the barricade. Mox booted Hobbs into the face, sending Hobbs over the barricade. Moxley and Hobbs brawled throughout the fans. Hobbs brought the champ back into the ring and tried to wear it down. Mox with a bear hug. Moxley escaped and tried it with a cutter, but Hobbs shoved Mox away. Hobbs charged at Moxley, but Moxley moved out of the way, sending Hobbs crashing into the turnbuckles. Yeah, Tony he's not Vince McMahon. He's not Shane McMahon. Where those two guys legitimately knows what to do. He doesn't know what to do. Does he know how to take any wrestling finishers? Obviously not. He needs to stay off fucking television. Take that energy and work on the fucking goddamn company as a whole. Moxley and Hobbs rolled through the fans. Hobbs brought the champ back into the ring and tried to wear down Mox with a bear hug. Moxley escaped and tried for a cutter, but Hobbs shoved Mox away. Hobbs charged at Moxley, but Mox moved out of it, sending Hobbs crashing into the turnbuckles. Moxley connected with a tope suicida. Hobbs was clutching his knee, and the ref checked him out. Moxley backed Hobbs into the corner and pounded Hobbs with strikes. Moxley was swarming with Hobbs with strikes. Moxley drilled Hobbs with a paradigm shift for a near fall. Moxley transitioned to a bulldog choke on Hobbs, and Hobbs was put to sleep. The ref stopped the match and awarded the victory to Mox. After the match, the Alpha, Takeshita, stood on the ramp and called out Jon Moxley. Renee Paquette was backstage with Shibata. Via his phone, Shibata said, Jericho called me dead weight and collateral damage. Next week, I'm going to damage him in his hometown of Winnipeg and become FTW champion. I'm going to chop down the learning tree. Just to let you know, Jericho is not a Canadian. He's an American. He was born in Manhasset. Look it up, people. Google it. Here comes the fucking ego-feeding segment for the young cucks. Tony Schiavone was in the ring to introduce Jack Perry. Jack Perry, first things I want to say, I've had some of the best nights of my life here in Jacksonville. But tonight we have business to handle. And I want to handle right here, right now, face-to-face with Tony Khan. The founder and president of All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan, came down the ring. Jack Perry, man, it's been a long road. Almost 5 years ago was the very first Double or Nothing. And since AEW has gone on to change the world, now, Tony, it's no secret we have ups and downs. We haven't always been seen eye to eye. But I want to tell you right now, from the bottom of my heart, I swear to God, the only thing that I have ever wanted is what's best for AEW. So I want to ask you, please shake my hand and reinstate me, and let's go to continue to change the world together. That should have given fucking Tony Khan a fucking, like, a red flag here. But that's just me. Tony Khan shook Perry's hand. They hugged one another. Jack Perry punched Tony Khan in the abdomen. The Elite ran down to the ring. I can't believe Jack just did that, said Taz. The Bucks helped Tony Khan to his feet. Matthew Jackson grabbed Tony Khan and hoisted him upside down in a pile driver position. Nicholas Jackson jumped off the top rope, and the Bucks spiked Tony Khan with a TK driver. The referee sprinted to the ring to separate the Bucks, Okada, and Perry from Tony Khan. AEW medical staff checked on Tony Khan. All four men held their arms up on the round. Matthew said, "It's time to change the world, baby." Once the Elite left, wrestler staff Tony Khan's father ran to the ring and to check on Tony Khan. And that was that. And if people think this is Austin and McMahon era, you got another fucking thing coming. Please, for the love of Jesus, don't get it twisted, people. Don't fucking get it twisted. So, they have a special programming note. Live, coast to coast, 3 straight hours of action at a special start time. Don't miss AEW Collision and Rampage live on Saturday, so there is no Rampage tonight. Immediately following the NBA playoffs from the Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. In Dynamite's next week, we'll be in Winnipeg, Canada, Manitoba, Canada, at the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg. It was a fucking, like, I felt like playing the Afro Circus, Afro Circus. I felt like it was a fucking circus. It felt so forced. For the love of God. Just, it pains me to see that. I had to turn it off legitimately after he fucking got attacked. I'm like, is this what we're seeing? Meanwhile, we're having the draft. We're having Rock maybe versus Cody. We're having all this exciting stuff. They're going to France. They're going to Berlin. They're going to Saudi Arabia. We're having the King and Queen. It's going to be mayhem this summer. We have stories. We have legitimate stories in the pipeline. We are good. I'm tuning in. I'm tuning in tonight for the draft. You know, it's like ridiculous. SmackDown. We're going to go right into SmackDown. And then Raw, and then I'm going to get you out of here. Very simple. Hopefully I could stay between an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours, and then I'll get you out of here. For only 3 shows. Could you imagine the other? Oh, my God. All right. Last week's Friday night SmackDown. We have WWE Women's Championship match. Bayley versus Naomi. Undisputed WWE Champion. #1 contenders match for Backlash in France. The megastar LA Knight versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. The Tag Team Championship #1 contender Fatal 4-Way. We have Legado del Fantasma. Angel Umberto versus the Pride, Street Profits, and Profits versus the AOP and the Bruiserweight, their new Catch Republic, Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. So the show opens up with the shots of the crowd outside the arena, well as a video of the women's champion Bayley and Naomi walking backstage. Corey Graves then welcomed us to the show as LA Knight makes his way down to the ring for the first match against AJ Styles. So this is the match that is going to determine Cody Rhodes' first opponent after winning the title. And I'm just looking at something pretty graphic. Crucci, what The Fruit Loop. Okay, details of talent backstage. Okay. So this match starts off with both men staring each other down. Knight gets Styles into the corner. Hold on, let me clear this because I've already read the notification. Both men staring each other down. Now they're both former NWA champions. They're former both and TNA champions because they were talked up, and I would have liked to them say TNA. I would have liked to, but maybe they're not allowed to. I don't know, which sucks. Knight then gets Styles into a corner. Styles then gets a cheap shot on Knight. Styles then puts Knight in a headlock, but Knight finds a way out. Knight then goes back and forth against the ropes and dodges a dropkick. Knight then knocks Styles down and sends him out of the ring. Knight then bounces Styles' head off the commentary desk repeatedly. Knight then sends Styles back in the ring, and Styles responds with a stiff shot. Knight then counters and sends Styles back to the outside. Knight then hits Styles with a sliding knee. Knight then lands some strikes on Styles. Styles then ducks a lariat, and both men take each other out with a dual crossbody. Both men then struggle to their feet. Both men trade shots. Styles then nails Knight with a throat thrust. Styles then delivers a flurry of offense on Knight, but Knight rallies back and nails Styles in the corner. Knight then hits Styles with a huge running knee in the corner. Knight then gets Styles on the top rope, but Knight gets knocked off. Knight then jumps back onto the top rope and hits Styles with a superplex for a near fall. Styles then counters a suplex and hits Knight with a moonsault DDT for a near fall. Knight then hits Knight with Styles then hits Knight with a number of counters, then rolls up Knight for another near fall. Styles then hits Knight with a Pele kick. Styles then hits Knight with a forearm, but ducks. Phenomenal forearm hits Styles with a power slam. Knight then hits Styles with a standing elbow drop. Knight then calls for a blunt force trauma, but Styles retreats to the apron. Styles then snaps Knight on the top rope. Styles then hits Knight with another forearm and then follows up with a phenomenal forearm for the win. And we have two former Bullet Club members. Did you ever think that wasn't going to happen? For the life of me. So AJ Styles is going to France. That would be a great second honeymoon, Mr. Styles. Take Wendy with you. She will say, please keep signing. Please keep signing. Then we can go on these third, fourth, fifth honeymoons. I mean, they're kind of still young enough. They could still have another baby. I mean, unless Wendy doesn't want to deal with another child, then God bless her. We get a video recapping what transpired with the Bloodline last week. We see an SUV pull up in the parking lot, and Solo Sikoa exits the vehicle. WWE Hall of Fame and the Wise Man Paul Heyman was waiting for Sikoa and says, "Nice threads." Tama Tonga then appears from behind Heyman, and Sikoa asks Heyman if Kevin Owens is there. Heyman then asks Owens, "Is there? Owens is here." And Sikoa asks Heyman to take him to Owens. We then head back inside the arena where the members of the Pittsburgh Steelers were shown in the crowd. SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis is in the middle of the ring. We see a platform is set with presumably new SmackDown Tag Team title championships. Underneath the sheet, Aldis introduces the WWE Chief Content Officer, Paul Triple H Levesque. And Triple H makes his way down to the ring. And I always like to see Mr. Levesque myself. Please, for the love of God. A Triple H chant then breaks out. Triple H starts by saying, on the heels of the most epic WrestleMania of all time, Pittsburgh provides us with a sold-out crowd. Triple H then welcomes the fans to SmackDown. Triple H then says SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. Oh, and I love that they got to shake hands. Seeing those two brings warmth to my heart. General Manager Nick Aldis and Raw General Manager Adam Pearce were doing great jobs in their role. Triple H then asks Aldis to introduce A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller as the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And A-Town Down Under then make their way down to the ring. Waller says on Monday, Triple H presented the second place winners from WrestleMania with new tag team titles. Theory says Triple H said nobody could make them look better than they already do. Triple H then congratulates Theory and Waller and unveils the new tag team championships. Triple H then goes to shake their hands. So they're going to be known as the WWE Tag Team Champions. And Miz and R-Truth are the World Tag Team Champions. So we can get the differentiate of both titles. Triple H then goes to shake the hands, but Waller and Theory turn Triple H down. Aldis then steps in and says if they disrespect Triple H again, they will make Theory and Waller disappear. The titles disappear for good. Aldis announces the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contenders match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. That will happen. We then head to the back where Kayla Brax is interviewing Naomi. Naomi starts off by calling Bayley her sister and saying that their match will not get in their way of their friendship. Naomi then says she's looking forward to the draft next week. She will walk in as new WWE Women's Champion. So we have the Fatal 4-Way, which is the Catch Republic, AOP, Street Profits, and Legado del Fantasma. Yeah, WWE has been on fire. And now with the help of UFC and with The Rock, it's you know it's going to be a good show. So the match starts off with Montez Ford, Tyler Bate, and both men trade pin attempts. Bate and Ford then attempt a dropkick at the same time. Ford and Bate then kip up, which leads to a stalemate. Angel attacks Bate from behind and gets the tag. Angel then works over Ford. Ford then tags in Dawkins. And Dawkins hits a flying back elbow on Angel. Akam then tags in the Authors of Pain. The Authors of Pain clear the ring. All the other competitors then attack Authors of Pain. The Street Profits then assist Bate in getting Razor on his shoulders for an airplay spin. Berto and Angel then break it up. The Authors of Pain then places the Street Profits and Dunn off the top rope in a Tower of Doom. Angel and Berto then press slam Bate off the top rope. Everyone else Bate off the top rope onto everyone else. Legado then hits the Doomsday Device powerbomb dropkick combination and everyone is down. Bate and Dunn then puts Angel and Berto in dual ankle locks. To an ode to Mr. Kurt Angle, which WWE Hall of Famer. Dawkins then hits a pounce on Berto. The Street Profits then hit Doomsday Blockbuster and Dunn breaks up the pin. Ford then dives over the ring post as Bate and Dunn hit a triangle moonsault that takes out the entire field. Legado then hits their finisher on Bate. Angel hits a springboard moonsault, but Ford breaks up the pin with a frog splash. The Street Profits then hit the Revelation on Angel for the win. So the Street Profits are going to France. So there, you could already tell freaking what's her face? Bianca is going to end up going to France. She's going to be involved in a match. Guaranteed it's going to be her, Jade, versus the Kabuki Warriors. And that's going to be probably announced tonight. We get a video package recapping the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley relinquishing the WWE Women's World Championship on Monday Night Raw. We head to the back where WWE Women's Champion Bayley is being interviewed. Bayley says she appreciates being a champion, and she's the only women's champion in WWE right now after Ripley relinquishes the WWE Women's World Championship on Raw. Bayley then says she will be the champion at the end of the night. She's not at. They have the NXT, which is Roxanne Perez. That was a stupid situation. Solo Sequoia was shown in the back with WWE Hall of Famer, the wise man Paul Heyman. Says he couldn't find Kevin Owens, and Sequoia started to walk away and head to the ring. Heyman then says he wasn't trying to piss off Sequoia, but Solo was making a decision he wasn't ready to make yet. Heyman then says there were decisions that can only be made by one man, and Sequoia cuts Heyman off. Sequoia's music then hits and he ends up going to the ring with Heyman. Paul Heyman starts things off by telling the crowd his name. Heyman then says he didn't know if there was a list of some of the backstage politicking people in WWE, but if there is one, he will be near to the top. Heyman then continues, "We speak and a 'We want Roman' chant breaks out. Heyman then says he can assure everyone that the wise man, but before Heyman can finish what he was about to say, Sequoia grabs the mic and cuts Heyman off. The crowd then boos Solo. Solo then starts to talk to the crowd, boos even louder. Dominic Mysterio treatment. And by the way, Dominic needs Tommy John surgery. It could be possibly out for an entire year. The same thing happened 2 more times. Sequoia then says last week he had to lose a brother to find a new one. Sequoia then matches Tama Tonga, and Kevin Owens were stumbling out backstage area bleeding heavily. Tonga then walks out behind Owens and makes his way down to the ring as the official tends to Owens. Tonga then enters the ring, does the bloodline hand gesture, and Solo does the same. Heyman then reluctantly does the same. Owens then fights off the officials and makes his way down to the ring. Owens then pulls Tonga out of the ring and starts beating on him until Sequoia assists Tonga and sends Owens into the ring steps. Sequoia then Solo hits Owens with a Samoan spike. Tonga then mounts Owens and blasts him with punches. Tama then fights with the agents, security, and referees. They are finally separated, but Tama grabs the chair, and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis then stops Tama. Solo then calmly takes the chair from Tama and throws it away in the ring. Tama, Solo, and Solo retreat up the entrance ramp. A "You suck" chant breaks out from the crowd. I'm hoping that there is going to be a match maybe this week or maybe after the draft with Tama Tonga. He needs to have that debut match in WWE. So hopefully, fingers crossed. The WWE Hall of Famer wise man Paul Heyman was then shown backstage. SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis grabs Heyman and shows him a car crash. Aldis says on his show they settle things next week, as is the draft. Aldis says that he will not tolerate that behavior, and the bloodline needs to understand. Aldis tells Heyman where there will be consequences to things Tonga and Solo did. Legado del Fantasma was shown being interviewed by Kayla Braxton earlier today. Santos says they had nothing to do with the attack on Dragon Lee a couple of weeks ago. We will then get entrances to the next match, which was Santos Escobar versus Carlito. The match starts off with Carlito having early control, slamming Escobar for a 2 count. Carlito then hits a dropkick on Escobar that sends Escobar into commentary desk. Carlito then hits a springboard splash on Escobar on the outside. Escobar then hits Carlito with a Frankensteiner from the second row for a 2 count. Carlito then tries for a rally back and hits a series of clothesline on Escobar as well, as in running knee lift. Carlito then goes for a top rope, but Electric Lopez distracts the referee until Zelina Vega gets involved. Lopez sends Vega into the barrier. The referee was distracted with the women brawling, and Escobar hits a low blow on Carlito, followed up with a Fanta driver for the win. Kayla Braxton was shown in the luxury box with Damage Control. Dakota Kai says Io Sky will eventually get her title back, and they were there to watch two people that they don't like tear each other apart. Kai then reminds everyone that the Kabuki Warriors are the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and Jade Cargill's music then hits, and Cargill and Bianca Belair walk into the luxury box next to Damage Control. All women were then jaw jacking each other. Naomi's music then hits, and we get an entrances for the main event. Oh, the women, shockingly, we actually get the women main eventing. It's a beautiful thing. The undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, was then shown cutting a promo from the UK, where he is a part of the UK tour. He was on the Raw side, where he is a part of the. Cody says the title can make the man, or the man can make the title. Cody then says he will be bringing the undisputed WWE championship all around the world. Cody then talks about AJ Styles became #1 contender for the championship. Cody then calls AJ a modern of excellence of execution. He compared him to Bret Hart. I don't think so. He's the modern day Heartbreak Kid. Cody then says he looks forward to his match with Styles at Backlash. There will be a contract signing tonight. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles for tonight. They will be signing their contract. So we have the Bayley versus Naomi for the WWE Women's Championship match. The match starts off both women trading holds and pinfall attempts. Both women then hit each other with crossbody, and both women are down. Naomi then hits a rear view on Bayley for a near fall. Naomi then sends Bayley into the turnbuckle. Naomi then climbs to the top rope and hits a flying crossbody on Bayley for a near fall. Bayley then responds and climbs the top rope. Bayley goes for an elbow drop, but Naomi gets his knees up. Naomi hits a springboard X Factor on Bayley for a near fall. Bayley then gains control of the match and hits a diving elbow on Naomi. Naomi counters a Rose Plant attempt from Bayley and hits Bayley with a sunset flip for a near fall. Naomi then transitions into a Koji clutch, but Bayley rolls up Naomi for a near fall. Both women then trade strikes. Naomi then hits a butterfly knee strike on Bayley, and Bayley crashes onto the outside. Naomi hits a springboard splash on Bayley on the outside. Tiffany Stratton then makes her way down to the ring and attacks both women and the match. Bayley is a sight to behold. Yes. One of my friends is a very, very, very big Bayley fan, and he loves her assets. And whenever I could see or get an ass picture of her, I send it to him. And it makes his day. Trust me, it makes his day. So this match was a DQ. After the match, Stratton hits the prettiest moonsault ever on both Naomi, Bayley, and exact the same time. Stratton poses on the second row and stands tall. So what I think this is she's going to get her first title match, and it's going to be a triple threat, and they're going to do Naomi, Bayley, and Stratton at Backlash. I think that's how it's going to go, and Stratton's going to take the pin because she's not ready to be the champion yet. All right, we're going to go on to Raw. All right, Raw tag team match. Sorry, Andrade and Ricochet versus JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. WWE Women's World Championship Battle Royal, which I think that was the wrong thing to do, due to the fact is that they have the Queen of the Ring. The Queen of the Ring could have crowned the new world champion. It could have made it bigger. And then you were over at Saudi Arabia, you see little fucking girls looking and saying, wow, I could be champion. I could be Queen of the Ring. I could be a superstar in WWE. I want to follow that career path. But they just legitimately did this. They had plenty of time going through it. They would have had plenty of good stories and whatnot. But that's just me. Like, I don't know anything about professional wrestling, I've only been watching it 41 fucking years. World Tag Team title match. Awesome Truth versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY. Imperius Gunta makes his return. The show opens up with Michael Cole and Matt McAfee standing in the middle of the ring and welcoming us to Monday Night Raw. McAfee then says tonight's match to determine new world champion. Women's world champion will be just the fourth time in a world champion would be crowned in a battle royal. McAfee then calls it one of the biggest matches in company history, which I don't think so. By the way, I want to congratulate, since we're talking about the women, Sarah Rowe is expecting her second child. Jesus Christ. Liv, come on, get Bo on get you pregnant, and then we can get the fuck out of here. What you did to fucking Rhea Ripley. You're such a bitch. And you're looking down at, don't even look at Dominic's way, please. He's too much man for you, please. Please, for the love of God. You're just a little girl. We get a video package on the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and the man, Becky Lynch. They were showing arriving in the arena earlier today. The main event, Jey Uso makes his way down to the ring, address the WWE Universe and the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest. That's so weird to say. Jey Uso starts off by saying he's in Columbus and WWE Backlash in 2 weeks. There will be challenging Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey then says he's got a lot to prove to both himself and the rest of the world. World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest heads out to, and I cannot stand his new theme song. Priest starts off by telling Jey Uso to take it easy, and then he just wants to talk. Priest then says Jey presentation and vibe suits him. He recalls the two of them going to war last year. Priest then says there was one night Jey beat him down so badly he went over to him in the locker room and earned his respect. Priest then explains that why he wanted him to join the Judgment Day and invited him to drinks. Priest then says he may not remember much from that night, but he does remember Jey telling him that they were next. Priest then says he's standing with Jey proud and says he was right, but only half right because he was next and not Jey. Priest then says the title he holds is proof of why he is now. Priest then says Jey is the first of many to show why Priest's title looks good on him. And although he will be the first to fall, he will be the first to fall, he will be the first to lead the people in rising for him. Priest then looks to leave the ring, but Jey stops. Jey then asks if all Priest sees him as just another tag team guy, and now that is strong talk coming from the leader of Judgment Day. Jey says the only reason Priest is the leader is because Rhea Ripley is out with injury, and Priest is getting fed up with him because he is next. Jey then says he will be the next World Heavyweight Champion, and Jey stares down Priest. And he's like, oh, has Rhea Ripley? Tell her Jey says, hey. And then he's like, then he goes on, he's like, so wait a minute. So if Rhea is the leader, then you're basically Dominic's bitch. And I'm like, oh my God. I thought he was going to fucking deck him. I really thought he was going to deck him big time. So JD McDonough then looks to blindside Jey, but Jey sees him coming and super kicks Priest. McDonough then looks on in shock, and Priest looks back at McDonough with fury in his eyes. Chad Gable, the ring general, Gunta were then arriving in the arena earlier today. In the upcoming King and Queen of the Ring tournaments are then plugged. which then at the end, we are now going to be crowning a new world champion. That would have been great. Have the crown, have the title. Mwah, chef's kiss. We then get entrances of the opening match, and we have the tag team title match with the WWE World Tag Team titles. Um, Awesome Truth versus DIY. The match starts off with R-Truth and Johnny Gargano. Truth hits an arm drag on Gargano before tagging the Miz in and double teaming Gargano. Miz then charges at Gargano in the corner, then looks to put him in a figure four leg lock. Gargano then avoids the submission and tags Ciampa in. Miz then puts Ciampa in a figure four leg lock, but Gargano breaks the hold. Truth then sends Gargano out of the ring, and Miz sends Gargano onto the apron. Gargano then tags in and hits a spear on Miz through the middle rope. Gargano then sends Miz through the outside. Truth then says Ciampa crashing into the mat face first and tags Miz in. Miz then hits Ciampa with a couple of clotheslines and follows up with a Miz kicks in the corner and nails him with a splash. Miz then looks to fly into the ring from the apron, but Ciampa nails him with a jumping knee. Truth then tags in and hits Ciampa with a flying shoulder tackle. Ciampa then responds with a super kick. Ciampa then hits Miz with a knee on the apron, and Gargano flies through the ropes to blast him on the outside. Ciampa then hits Truth with a forearm and then follows up with a knee to the side of his head. DIY then hit Truth with meet him in the middle, and Gargano pins Truth. But Miz pulls Gargano out of the ring. Miz then says Ciampa crashing into the crowd. Then tags in and hits a skull-crushing finale flatliner combination with Truth on Gargano for the win. And they retain. After the match, Miz and Truth offer Gargano, hugs Gargano. Miz then offers a handshake to Ciampa, but Ciampa leaves and storms to the back as the crowd boos. Uh-oh, trouble in paradise. Uh-oh, ruh-roh. We head to the back where we see the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest abomish JD McDonough for trying to help him earlier tonight. Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar then walked in, and Dominic explains that Escobar will be replacing him in his and McDonough's tag team match later tonight against Ricochet and Andrade. Priest then clearly is annoyed and tells Escobar to handle things tonight. Escobar tells Priest not to worry. Imperium, the Ring General, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci then make their way down to the ring to address the WWE Universe. Gunther starts by saying fans expect him to expect him to talk about WrestleMania and take shots at Sami Zayn. But he has something different on his mind. Gunther then says he took some time away to digest things and took the Intercontinental Championship to new heights. During his title reign, Gunther then says his name will live forever, will forever be embedded in the history of the Intercontinental Champion. And for 2 years he held the title. He was walking around with a target on his back. Gunther then says the weight has been lifted off his shoulders, that he doesn't hold the title, then says thank you. Gunther then says he is the hunter now rather than the hunted, with the WWE draft around the corner and the turn of a new era. He is officially declaring himself as the first entrant in the 2024 Men's King of the Ring. You don't have to say men's. It's King of the Ring. Okay? There's not going to be King of the Ring and there's going to be women. No, it's going to be Queen of the Ring. Okay. Gunther then offers other champions some advice. The New Day music, and they make their way down to the ring. Kofi Kingston starts off by saying Gunther is correct when he said is a new era, but what a better way to usher it in than the New Day? No, we don't need the New Day, please. Xavier Woods then says Gunther is looking at the reigning King of the Ring. Woods then continues to brag about being two-time king of the ring before Gunther takes a shot at Woods. Both factions then go back and forth, leading Woods to challenge Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci to a tag team match against him and Kingston. Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, and Nia Jax are shown arriving in the arena earlier today. So we have the match between Imperium and the New Day. The match starts off with Kofi and Kingston and Ludwig Kaiser. Gunther has joined the commentary desk. Oh, that was interesting. Desk and Kingston and Kaiser with dropkick and Vinci and Woods tag in. Woods then hits Vinci with a double axe handle and Kingston tags in and hits Vinci with a crossbody off the top rope. Kaiser then tags in and hits Kingston with a double dropkick with Vinci. Vinci then tags in and Kaiser blasts Kingston with a clothesline. Kingston then levels Kaiser by flying out of the corner and tagging Woods in. Vinci then tags in and nails Woods with a boot, then follows up with a suplex. Woods then hits Vinci with a tornado DDT and a chop, then tags Kingston in, and Vinci then blasts Kingston with an Imperium looks for an Imperium bomb on Kingston. Kingston then escapes by hitting Vinci in with a Hurricane Rana, then tags Woods and Kingston and Woods, then double team Vinci and Woods gets 1, 2, 3. After the match, Gunther throws the chair he was sitting on and storms to the back without Kaiser or Vinci. Kaiser then hugs Vinci and helps him to the back, but Kaiser then sends Vinci crashing into the LED boards around the ring. Kaiser then sends Vinci crashing through the ring post and onto the announcer's desk before he sends him into the ring steps. Officials then run down to the ring and escort Kaiser to the back. Kaiser then runs back down to the ring and drop kicks Vinci. Kaiser then runs into Gunther in the gorilla and both men smile. Kaiser then tells Gunther that he told him that he would get it done. We're gonna have a new member to Imperium, and it's Ilya Dragunov. Okay, so enjoy. We're gonna see some really fucking nasty shit from those three. These guys can get fucking vicious. I'm not kidding. We then get a video package on Andrade where he is shown that he's targeting the Judgment Day. Andrade says he's not their fool or their servant, that he was now their biggest problem. The Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre makes his way down to the ring to address WWE Universe. Drew McIntyre starts off by taking a seat in the ring, cross-legged. Fans chanted CM Punk. McIntyre questions why the fans continue to chant for him. McIntyre then says the evidence over the years proves that Punk hates fans, but says he hates himself even more. McIntyre then says he loves professional wrestling so much, but it doesn't quite reciprocate that the love and the fans won't understand complex relationships like one that he has with professional wrestling. McIntyre then says Punk is too much of a coward to face him one-on-one and reviews a couple of instances of doing so. McIntyre looks to speak about the King of the Ring, but Sheamus's music hits and Sheamus walks his way down to the ring. Sheamus starts by asking McIntyre what's going on and says he keeps complaining about everyone being a coward. Sheamus then says he says all he sees is a person who refuses to take accountability for his mistakes and makes him a coward. Sheamus then calls for McIntyre to stand up and says he has known him for 20 years. Sheamus then says McIntyre finally had his moment after much complaining as his brother and wife watched from the crowd, but he blew it. Sheamus then says McIntyre would be world heavyweight champion, but he threw it all away over a meme and a t-shirt. Sheamus then says he and McIntyre have traveled the world together and had banger after banger when it comes to matches. Then gives McIntyre a reality check by saying Punk gave him a good beating. McIntyre then says while they had banger after banger before Sheamus got injured, it now looks like burger after burger. Sheamus then says McIntyre has gotten really good on one-liners. And while he can lose weight, McIntyre can't lose stupid. Sheamus then tells McIntyre stop blaming everyone for mistakes. McIntyre tells Sheamus that he cares what everyone has to say about him and he is still there for him right now, even though their current conversation isn't worthwhile. McIntyre then says he'll be watching Sheamus' upcoming match from ringside and tells him to watch his back. So there was a match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Sheamus. The match starts with Nakamura landing some right hands and kicks to Sheamus, then a low bridge him onto the apron. Nakamura then puts Sheamus across the top turnbuckle and hits him with a knee to his midsection before Sheamus nails Nakamura with the 10 beats of the Bataran. Sheamus then hits Nakamura with a jumping knee on the apron. Sheamus then gets Nakamura back in the ring, but Nakamura rolls out on the other side. Sheamus meets Nakamura, but Nakamura sends Sheamus face bouncing off the announce desk. Then follows up with a knee to the back of his head off the barricade. Sheamus then hits Nakamura with a backbreaker. Sheamus then climbs to the top rope and hits a clothesline on Nakamura, but Nakamura hits a German suplex on Sheamus through the middle rope. Nakamura hits Sheamus with a knee before Sheamus gets him on the shoulders and climbs up to the middle rope. Sheamus then hits Nakamura with the white noise and goes for a pin, but Nakamura kicks out. Sheamus then sends Nakamura crashing into the mat, then looks for a brogue kick. Nakamura then avoids it by rolling up Sheamus, but Sheamus kicks out. Sheamus then hits Nakamura with a jumping knee and sets up for a Celtic cross, but Nakamura escapes. Sheamus then hits Nakamura with a brogue kick for the win. We get a video package of the WWE Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn beating Chad Gable last week and Gable turning on him. We then head back to the back where Kathy Kelly is interviewing Sami Zayn. Zayn says he's angry and hurt. Zayn then says he had a lot to say, but he's biting his tongue. Zayn then says he wanted to hear what Gable had to say tonight because he didn't know how Gable could defend his action. Bronson Reed then approaches Zayn and says he had a bigger problem. Zayn then tells Reed that they could fight anytime, any place. Reed then leaves and Kathy Kelly was about to continue her interview with Zayn, but Reed attacks Zayn. Officials then pull Reed away from Zayn, but Reed sends Zayn into some equipment boxes and flatten him. Reed then says he will be the next Intercontinental Champion. Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, and the rest of the group go out to the ring. Chad Gable starts off by saying it's safe to say Zayn has had a rough couple of weeks after what just happened backstage, and what he did to Zayn last week is justified. Gable then says he and Zayn tore the house down, but Zayn had to rub it in. Gable then says Zayn laid down his title in the ring, but it wasn't enough. Gable then says Zayn rubbed it in like further while celebrating his life with his wife. Gable then says he has been wasting his time training a bunch of losers in the Alpha Academy. Then tells Akira Tozawa all he does is dance around in the ring while racking up losses. Gable then tells Maxine Dupree that she is pretty as a princess but dumb as a box of rocks. Gable then says he has given Maxine everything but gotten nothing in return. Gable then tells Otis not to get started on him, as Otis has proved himself without a shadow of a doubt to be the biggest disappointment of them all. Gable then tells Tozawa, Dupree, and Otis all signed up for honest feedback. Gable then says they are all now going to focus on and winning the Intercontinental Championship. Gable then demands to hear Otis say that out loud, and Otis does. We then head back to where the Judgment Day Dirty Dominic Mysterio approaches Ricochet. Ricochet says he is upset that Dominic isn't clear because he was looking forward to beating him. Ricochet then calls McDonough a bobblehead and says he will beat him on speed as well. After Ricochet leaves, Liv Morgan approaches Dominic, and the segment ends. Of course, my tablet decides to do reload. It has to reload. Approaches Dominic, and the segment ends before either of them said anything. Nia Jax cuts a quick promo stating that her intentions to win the women's world title. And then we get the tag match with Ricochet and Andrade versus Escobar and McDonough. The match starts off with Andrade and JD McDonough. Andrade delivers some right hands on McDonough. McDonough then tags Escobar in, and Andrade nails Escobar with a shoulder tackle. Ricochet then tags in and hits Escobar with a double back elbow with Andrade. Ricochet then hits Escobar with a dropkick and a snapmare before following up with a Hurricane Rana and a second dropkick. McDonough then tags himself back in and delivers some kicks on Ricochet. Ricochet then hits McDonough with a back elbow, then runs the ropes. Dominic then grabs Ricochet's ankle while the referee distracts, which leads to Escobar hitting Ricochet with a Hurricane Rana off the apron. McDonough then tags himself in again and hits Ricochet with a suplex. Escobar then tags in and pins Ricochet, but Ricochet kicks out. Ricochet then hits an enziguri on McDonough on the apron and tags Andrade in. Andrade then hits Escobar with a couple of dragon screws, then follows it up with a back elbow. Andrade then hits Escobar with a couple of running double knees and goes for a pin. Escobar then kicks out before Ricochet tags in and hits a clothesline on Escobar off the top rope. Ricochet then follows up with a standing shooting star press and goes for a pin, and McDonough breaks up the fall. Andrade then takes McDonough out. Escobar and Ricochet then hit each other with crossbody. Andrade and McDonough tag in, and the exchange strikes with one another. Andrade then hits two of the three amigos on McDonough, but Escobar gets in the ring and hits Andrade with a double suplex with McDonough. Ricochet then looks to fly off the top rope, but Escobar nails him with a couple of double knees. Escobar and McDonough then put Andrade and Ricochet on the adjacent top turnbuckles. Andrade then sends McDonough crashing into the mat, and Escobar does the same to Ricochet. Andrade then hits the message on McDonough for the win. After the match, the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest appears out of nowhere and says Andrade crashing into the ring post shoulder first. Priest then hits Ricochet with a razor's edge and follows up with the South of Heaven on Andrade. Priest then abolishes Dominic in a Spanish fly, and McDonough asks Priest what he's just said. Priest then repeats in English for McDonough and says he doesn't need them. Priest then says that they need him. We then get a video from Zoe Starr cutting a promo. We then head to the back where Jackie Redmond is interviewing Candice LeRae at Indy Hartwell. This was quickly interrupted by the commotion off the screen. The camera then cuts to Nia Jax and Liv Morgan trying to brawl as the officials kept them separate. The man Becky Lynch walks by and grabs the mic from Redmond. Lynch marches through the back and cuts a promo as she waits her way to the gorilla. Lynch then stops along the way to give Dupree some words of encouragement. because she's so great in the fucking ring, right? And I'm not gonna fucking cater to her. She sucks. She should still be in NXT. But that's just me. So we have the card for next week's episode of Raw. Then announced that Becky Lynch would make her way down to the ring, and we start off with the women's battle royal. The match starts with everyone going after Nia Jax and Piper Niven. Niven and Jax push everyone away and begin brawling with each other. Natalya then gets Becky Lynch over the top rope onto the apron, but Lynch gets back inside. Natalya is then sent over the top rope and hangs on. Zoe Starks then looks to eliminate Katie Carter, but Carter holds on. Natalya then goes after Starks, sending her over the top as Chelsea Green tries to eliminate Katana Chance. Ivy Nile is sent over the top and onto the apron by Candice LeRae, but Maxine Dupree sneaks up and sends LeRae out of the ring to eliminate her. Dupree gets and hits a boot from Indy Hartwell, but Dupree manages to throw her over the top and out of the ring to eliminate her. Natalya then looks to eliminate Lynch, but Lynch fights her off and gets back in the ring. Lynch then tosses Natalya over the top rope onto the apron. Chance and Carter then double team Dupree, Niles, Starks, and Shayna Baszler. Chance then hits Baszler with a Hurricane Rana and sends Stark over the top rope onto the apron. Carter then hits Baszler with a kick on the apron. Baszler then sends Chance over the top, but Carter catches Chance on her shoulders. Starks then hits Chance and Carter with a super kick to eliminate them both. Jax then puts Niall on the top rope, but Niall looks to put Jax in an arm submission using the ropes for extra leverage. Jax then sends Niall crashing into the ring post to eliminate her. Jax then turns around and Dupree gets in her face. Jax then pushes Dupree and Dupree hits Jax with a couple of kicks. Dupree then hits Jax with an insecurity and looks to nail her with a boot. But Jax catches her and eliminates her. Jax then low bridges Niven over the top, but Niven hangs on. Lynch then hits Niven with a forearm and kicks through the middle rope to eliminate her. Niven then pulls Lynch under the bottom rope and sends her crashing into the ring steps. Niven then hits Lynch with a cannonball as Green delivers some forearms on Jax in the ring. Niven then clears the announce desk as Green looks to nail Jax in the ring. Niven then sets Lynch on the desk while Jax gets Green up on her shoulders. Niven then drags Jax under the bottom rope to save Green, and Jax chokeslams Niven on the top of Lynch on the announce desk. Jax then gets Niven on her shoulders and hits her with a Samoan drop on top of Lynch. Green then looks on as she yells at Jax from the inside the ring. Natalya takes advantage. Natalya sends Green over the top rope to eliminate her, but the referees don't see. Green being eliminated, and Green slides back in the ring. Starks then delivers some stomps on Liv Morgan in the corner as we see Jax powerbomb Lynch through the announce desk during the commercial break. Green and Natalya then brawl on the apron, and Green hits a boot on Natalya. Stark then clotheslines Green over the top rope to eliminate her and Baszler. Baszler sends Natalya crashing off the apron to eliminate her. Starks then sends Morgan over to Baszler, and Baszler hits Morgan with a jumping knee. Baszler then puts Jax in a sleeper, and Starks super kicks Jax. Jax then sends Starks over the top rope and crashing onto the floor to eliminate her. We're down to the final four, and that is Lynch, Morgan, Baszler, and Jax. Jax sends Baszler onto the apron over the top rope and pushes her onto Starks on the outside to eliminate her. Lynch then slides into the ring, and both Jax and Morgan charge at her. Morgan then hits Jax with a Hurricane Rana and follows up with a drop kick to Jax's spine. But Jax sends her crashing into the corner. Morgan then looks to hit a code-breaker on Jax, but Jax catches her. Lynch then hits Morgan with a neck breaker as Morgan hits a code-breaker on Jax. Jax then hits Morgan with a Samoan drop before Lynch delivers some right hands on her and follows up with a kick to her midsection. Lynch then sends Morgan over the top rope and onto the apron, and Jax does the same to Lynch. Jax then charges at Morgan and Lynch, but Lynch and Morgan hits a double jawbreaker on Jax, sending her face bouncing off the top rope. Morgan and Lynch then look to hit a double suplex on Jax, but Jax suplexes both of them and drags them into the corner. Jax then looks at a annihilator, but she gets sent onto the apron. Morgan then hits Jax with a code breaker, and Lynch hits Jax with a leg drop off the top rope to eliminate her. We're down to the final two. It's Lynch and Morgan. Lynch and Morgan hit each other with right hands, and Morgan sends Lynch over the top rope onto the apron. Lynch then hits Morgan with a kick to her head and climbs to the top. Lynch then looks to fly, but Morgan moves out of the way. Morgan then looks to send Lynch over the top, but Lynch reverses the momentum and sends Morgan over the top onto the apron. Morgan then hits Lynch with the right hand and sends her into the middle, onto the apron through the middle rope. Lynch then hits Morgan with a kick to her midsection, but Morgan responds with a code breaker on Lynch. Morgan then goes for an oblivion, but Lynch catches her and counters her into the manhandle slam. Lynch then sends Morgan crashing onto the floor to eliminate her, and Becky Lynch is the new champion, which I think it should have been Shayna, but that's my pick. That was my pick. After the match, Lynch celebrates becoming the new women's world champion with the WWE Universe. Fireworks go off, and I thought when I seen the tweet from what's her face, Charlotte, I'm like, she's making a miraculous recovery. She's gonna come back and win the title. I'm like, no, this is not gonna work. But that is that. That is that, and I'm gonna go enjoy my Friday with, I'm gonna enjoy going out to dinner tonight. I can't wait. Please do me a favor and go check out the rest of my content, including the review of WrestleMania 40, nights 1 and 2. Please go check out the rest, and please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications, so when I go live or I upload a video, you will all know about it, or do a short. Please join me this coming Thursday at 2 p.m. or even earlier for episode 339, because right after SmackDown, I'm going live with my preview and predictions of Backlash. And then as soon as I get home from seeing my son, I'm going to be doing the review of Backlash. So I want everybody to have a great, great evening. Please go check out my Astro Classics at myAstroClassics.com. Please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Check out Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And go check out HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. They have 3 events coming up and a lot of good talent on the card. Please go follow me on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. Please also go check me out on X/Twitter. Check me out on TikTok and Cameo, and Snapchat is making a comeback. So it's Real Mel's Mat Chat. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. Very, very simple. So go check me out on Snapchat. So I love you all. I will see you here on Thursday at 2 p.m., maybe even earlier. You will just keep following my Twitter, X, and please, if you want to donate to this. Fuck the verification. If you want to send donations, I'm going to go onto my X and I'm going to upload my PayPal. You could go and scan it, put as much as you want, and I know I get the name and everything like that, and I will shout you out here. Okay, so go check. So have a great evening, and I will see you next week at on Thursday for episode 339. I love you all. Have a great Friday.